Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's live stream. How are you guys doing? We got here. We got Red Spartan, T Schmidt, Vector, Big Bobzilla. Big Bobzilla, how you doing? Oh my, 90 months? What the heck? What on earth have you been doing? Who we got? We got Hoosiers, Clarkatron, Rattlekin. What's going on? Oak Ren, Chuck. Chuck, you're so early. Flapjack Nickelsack, Panic Bomb Arcade, impossible to read name, which is Jade. Hello. You're also early. D Fresh and Source. With the Aloha as normal. And Wad. Hi Wad. It was Friday, there'd be no stream. I know, right? We are sneaky, sneaky, sneaky people. All over the place. Had an out-of-state wedding to get to. 1-year-old stuff. You know, staying busy. Yeah, it sounds good. Wad Tomaton. Yeah, JJ, on our Twitch stream thing, your name is the perfect like dark blue that is just impossible to read on our monitors. So I have to look at the other monitor where everybody has the same color of name. Blood Walrus, what's going on? Yeah, Chuck, we are not streaming on Friday. We have a super fun early work day thing where we're all going to be hanging out at a local game store here after work. Early. It is going to be fun. Clarkatron, you hit 12 months, you are officially a liar. It has been 12 months. You are now liar level 1. Oh, so it's dark like my soul. Jade. Jordan, have you been abandoned by mom and dad? Hey, look. Mom and dad never abandon anybody. But sometimes mom and dad have things to do. Right? They have really important things to do that make the world go round. And if they don't do those things, then the world stops spinning. And that's bad. We definitely don't want that to happen. So once they have done the things that are important to make sure that the world keeps on spinning, then they'll be back. It is also just hilariously busy times right now. It's super, super busy right now. Wad Tom Aton. False. Wad Tomato N. Correct. You got it, Hoosiers. Gordo, what's going on? Flapjack. Do we still get a new challenge on Friday? Yes. Sometimes mom and dad has grown-up things to do and can't play with baby Shay. Well, hold on. They're playing with you guys. I'm also playing with you guys. I'm like the babysitter. If the world stopped spinning, then theoretically people would fly off the planet. Well, you're not technically wrong. Although that would be a pretty entertaining day. Gonna be a weird one if it happens, so. I am currently working on gluing together this robot so that I can make sure that all my lines of light make sense. Luckily enough, this piece is like remarkably clean, and I don't have to do a lot of work, which is awesome. We got this piece here, which I think looks really nice. So that piece connects to the hip. This part is there. I have to like kind of loosely connect these two. Yeah, I got it. Put a little bit of a dollop there. Into the hip joint. And then we're throwing in that there. Perfect. Oh, Papa Chicken, you're so wonderful. Out of all the lonely baby Jays that I'm watching on Twitch right now, you're my favorite. Just thought you should know. Thank you. I'm in a basement. I wouldn't make it more than 8 feet if the planet stops spinning. Game delay, you should change yourself down so that if and when the world stops spinning, you continue to remain in the same place. Alright, I gotta clean up the top part of this a little bit. I want to be upset that most of my painting projects start with dark purple, but I just can't bring myself to be upset. Chuck, that's awesome. When I was doing a quick glance at one of my Mindwork Games models the other day, the sculpt looked very clean with few to no bubbles. Yeah, they're generally pretty good. Obviously, there are outliers that are not as good, but you know, it happens. Trying to even out. Part of the shoulder has a little bit of some jankiness going on, which is okay. Let me put some glue into this. Got a little bit of glue there. Got a little bit of glue there. Awesome. Put that there. Yeah. Got it. Got it good. So now we have most of the body together. We've just got the one arm and the head. Arm, yep, definitely goes at that angle. Let's see here. It is a really good color to start things. You're right, Wad Tomatoin. Yeah, there's a reason I bought more Dark Plum as one of my first 3 repeat purchases. Chuck along with Payne's Gray for shadows and Warm Brown for filtering the skin. Payne's Gray and Dark Plum are some absolutely killer colors. Wizard's Butt Primer what? You gotta talk to Gabe about making a label. What's up, Law Dog? When was the last time that one of the other Jays unchained you from your painting desk? Blink twice if you're in danger. What does no blinks mean?
Hi. Nothing in nature is that color. Just saying.
Yes.
His drink is the same color as my freaking Timberwolf.
True.
Hi! Sorry. So sorry.
Look, every time they get all uppity about the Jays not being together, assembled as a team, I have to gently remind them that you guys have really important duties here, like making the world spin.
like going to the dentist. That's where Jen is.
Well, here's the thing. The logical thing is, her being here makes the world spin. If she's not at the dentist, then things are not going as well. The world is not the same. We gotta keep the world spinning, Jason.
I don't buy any of it. That sounds like garbage to me. Baja Blast is definitely made from the juice of the blastberry, Jason. That's not a thing.
The juice of the blastberry.
It's not a thing.
That's actually one of the best things I've heard.
Not a thing.
Yeah, Jason, it's all about the blastberries.
Big Bob says, I'm disappointed, not going to lie, but I will keep it to myself. About what? You got nothing to be disappointed about.
Also, Big Bob, 90th month.
That's not sane.
It may not be sane, but it is true.
Papa Chicken, it's Clan Snow Raven. Slayer Street, what's going on? Yeah, Clan Snow Raven. Of which we will be doing more. Turquoise for miles. And miles and miles and miles and miles.
At least it looks good. Looks sharp. J&J. So you're saying my Gatorade ain't made from real gators?
No.
Although the gators...
No, as a matter of fact, not the case. You've been lied to. The Gator Company.
The Gator Company. The Gator Company does not have your best interests at heart.
Well, that's definitely true.
But you know who does? You know who looks out for your painting well-being? Monument Hobbies.
We only put the finest ingredients in our paints for you to eat. I mean, to
Jason,
paint with.
we talked about the eating thing. We talked about this.
Jen's not here.
I'm here, though.
Jen's not here to stop me.
I'm here to stop you on behalf of Jen.
That's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure Jen would agree with me here. I have faith that Jen would agree with what I'm saying and support me in.
She's probably in a dentist chair, like watching.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to watch that stuff you have on there. Just put on the stream. Snitches get stitches, baby J. Hey, it's not stitch. Blah, 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 blah. It's not snitching if you don't let them do it in the first place.
That didn't make any sense at all.
You can't snitch if there's nothing to stitch on.
I don't think he gets it, chat.
I get it just fine, thank you. Baby J becomes the babysitter. Oh, goodness gracious. How many miles do you think you have to paint for that trim?
It's at least 1.2.
Yeah. What? Are you a cop, Baby J? You gotta tell us if you're a cop. That's not how that works.
I think he was sent here by a federal agency.
Which one?
Well, if I knew that,
Well, you must
be in
have
a lot better shape.
You must have guesses at least. Oh. Hello.
Hi.
Thought you were at the dentist.
I'm leaving right now to go to the dentist.
Oh.
We were saying you were probably in the dentist chair watching the show to make sure we were not telling people to eat the paint.
Make sure he didn't.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. It's just a quick cleaning, so I'll be back shortly. But then I have to go to the post office, so I'm coming in to say goodbye because
What do you got to go to the post office for?
I have to figure out where that guy's. I have to do whatever I can to figure it out because it's Megaset and it's lost. So.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Post office losing people's paint.
How dare they?
Jen has to go to the rescue because the customer doesn't want to go to their own rescue.
Uh-oh.
It's like when you order something and it doesn't make it to your house, don't you think you'd be a little concerned and want to go get it?
Yeah, you go call the post office and you go, hey, why did you guys deliver my thing?
Amazon has made that not the case anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. People are just like, nope, not here. I don't want to do anything about it.
Oh, because of Amazon.
And we're like, well, you know we're not the post office, right? We did our part. But Jen goes to great lengths to make sure that everybody is happy.
Okay. This helps a lot, actually, with this model. I wanted to put this robot together, at least so that I can remove it from the base. Just so I can see. Because now I'm going to make the eyes looking down at the robot.
I was going to say, no, he's not even looking at her.
Uh-huh, yep. The minute I saw that, I was like, I need to change that. It's okay.
He's staring right past her. How rude. Yeah, Jen is the best. She's looking out for you guys.
Jen is
even when you don't look out for yourself.
Oh, are you going to be doing any gaming with the crew on Friday, Jason?
Has this been asked of me?
No.
Right now, no.
I'm asking right now.
I don't have a plan.
Oh. Cool.
But that hasn't been proposed, so I could be swayed. I don't know.
Oh, he shall be swayed.
I don't know.
We'll figure something out. I think
Maybe,
it'll be fun.
maybe not. What are we playing?
Oh, you know what we could do? We could potentially play Titanicus. Because that's a fun game. And we all have painted models for it, too.
Why would I play that game?
I'm sorry?
Why would I play that game?
Titanicus? Isn't that like one of the games that you do actually like?
I mean, I don't play it very often. But
No,
yes, it's a good rule set.
Neither do I suppose I would have to do a lot of figuring out of what the heck is going on. Because I haven't played that game in forever either. So maybe that's a bad idea. Because I don't want to do that kind of research. So...
How invested are you?
Not invested enough, apparently.
He's wondering who ate his marshmallow. Yes. Wait a minute. Is it gone?
What marshmallow? Oh. That one? The robot ate the marshmallow.
What the heck? Robots don't eat marshmallows.
Yes, they do.
Jordan, did you eat the marshmallow?
I did not eat the marshmallow. And I can prove it. Oh, hi, Christmas Suchi.
Not a real thing. Not a real person.
I mean, it's typing in chat.
Not a real person. Cockpit's all crooked.
Oh. What the heck?
It's a mold. Sure, the mold didn't release well.
Yeah, look at that.
Battle
That's
damage.
wild. All right, eyeballs, here we go. Time for the fix. Fixing up the eyeballs. Do.
No singing.
What about dancing?
There's no dancing. No singing. Definitely no singing and dancing.
I'm sad now. What about chat? Can they sing and dance?
Chat may definitely not sing and dance. Chat is beholden to the same rules that we are. Gates of Paint. Try number 3. Did we miss you? Sorry. We don't have a producer today, so we're probably slacking. Says, can I do an order as a hold for pickup and have you moved locations yet? We will not be moving locations. We have decided to stay in the building we're in, and you can definitely do an order hold for pickup. Well, you can do an order that is pickup, and they will hold it until you show up. So that's an automatic thing. You don't have to do anything special. If you say local pickup on your order, no, it will get set aside here until you come pick it up. We've had some people forget their order for like a year.
That's hilarious.
We will contact you to tell you that, hey, did you know you have an order here if it takes you a year? But yeah, so you can do that, and it'll be here at the 3rd Street location. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. Timing is not crucial on your end for that. We have made other arrangements to avoid having to get a new location. We were having too many struggles with building owners and leases and expectations, and timing was getting really tight, so we just had to make something work. And we'll be looking at it through the course of this next year. We still have our building listed, so if you want to buy a building, you could be the proud owner of Monument Hobby's old building. The one we're broadcasting to you from. It's a little bit of history. Right? It could become like a nerd commune.
You just turned it into a Monument Hobbies game store. Except this layout would not work for a game store.
I was going to say, that sounds horrible.
It does sound horrible.
But you go, you do you. The Holy Go Bag Fire Shrine. That's out back.
The Holy Go Bag Fire Shrine.
We do get to get rid of our 40-foot container out back, though. That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Finally be rid of that here pretty soon, which is nice. Got to buy a new forklift. Ugh.
It will also make parking easier too.
Yeah, parking will be freed up a little bit. So we're solving some problems while creating others, which is pretty typical for us.
Hmm.
Trade you a case of 100 White Castle burgers for the building.
Nope.
So I don't know if you know this about me.
Nope.
But no.
Heck no. It's like asking if you'll trade a building for 100 pieces of cardboard.
Imagine my astonishment when one day I'm walking through the frozen food section at the grocery store and they make White Castle frozen burgers.
Oh, they most certainly do.
And how appalled one might be to realize that this is a thing. Because not only are they horrible when they're fresh, if you can call a boiled meat burger fresh,
For the record, I don't think you can.
you take a frozen patty out of the freezer and then you boil it in gray water that has been boiling burgers all day. I dread to call them burgers. I don't even think they're burgers. They were like the original slider.
They're boilgers.
Gray water burgers is what we grew up calling them. Not good. They make White Castle pizza roll style things now. Oh my God.
Gross.
It just keeps getting worse. Can I have a fresh boiled burger? This one's kind of soggy. Yeah, exactly. They put like 2 little diced onions on your boiled gray water burger.
Hmm.
White Castle could sell used cooking water. Blech.
Oh, gross.
Blech.
Oh, who brought that? That's gross. That is like actually disgusting.
Blech. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
I threw up a lot of bit in my mouth. That's gross.
I know a lot of people that love White Castle,
And they would be
and
wrong.
I have given them crap my entire life.
And they would be wrong.
It's like, something's wrong with you. What did your parents do? What did your parents feed you that was so horrible that White Castle seemed like a good alternative? My mom fed me liver and onions.
Ooh. That sounds like not an exciting thing.
And so White Castle wasn't good enough to make that a good trade.
It's like, I'll keep
Brahms
having
was my burger of choice as a kid. But admittedly, that was back when Brahms was actually really good. Later in life, I went to a Brahms and was not impressed. Used paint water. We could sell that.
used paint water.
Sure.
Jason,
Why not?
I'm concerned.
About what?
we should not bottle and sell used paint water
Reason being?
because people would buy it.
I think you missed the whole point of things.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jason.
Give the people what they want.
There are some things
They
that
ask for
people
used
should
paint
not
water.
have.
There you go. They know what's best. What are you talking
Jason?
about? Are you saying people don't know what's best for them?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You heard it here first, folks.
As a general rule, yes.
Baby J's slated for being a politician when he grows up.
Well.
He's like, of course these people can't think for themselves.
Bar's not high.
After reading the comments on our Don't Eat the Paint ads for the last year and a half, I'm inclined to believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people just want to eat paint.
If you bottle it, they will buy. Pro Grill bathwater. Spec Ops said, let me eat paint. Can you use paint air? Can we use paint air? What?
Are you asking about airbrushing?
Matt J says, Jason, what are you working on that mech right now? I'm doing edge highlighting for the 50 million miles of edge detailing that's on this guy.
That's a pretty accurate.
It's nice because the sculpt has got really deep, details on it for all the armor panel lines and stuff. but it means that you got to paint it all. You can't get away with, well, I mean, you could get away with dry brushing it, but that's not the kind of paint job I'm trying to do. So right now it's a million lines. But like I said, at least the detailing is really crisp, so I can just use the side of the point of the brush and drag it along these edges and get pretty clean edge highlights. So it goes quick, it's just there's a bajillion of them. I'm doing that with turquoise. The color base for the model was dark blue as a shadow, then dark jade, jade, and bright jade to get the initial color work up. We're doing Clan Snow Raven on this guy. The other ancillary colors are kind of like a warm brown, or I'm sorry, warm gray and yellow.
Mm-hmm. Looks really good.
So there's still a lot of other colors to intersperse on here, but I'm going to do all this first just to get a good feel for the model and what I like.
I need some marshmallow. I'm going to glue this model together with a little bit of blue marshmallow, Jason. Good old blue marshmallow.
He's lost it, Chad.
I have indeed. I am a maniac. Insane in the membrane.
He's lost it. No hope for this guy.
There is only everything but hope.
That's a lot of things.
Yep. But not hope. No hope here.
Why there is no miniature painter version of Bob Ross? What are you talking about? We, years and years and years ago, we had the Rob Boss streams where I wore the wig. Gosh, that was inside our house. 1 or 2 houses ago, maybe both. And we would do all of the Bob Ross stuff. When they first brought Bob Ross to Twitch, they got the rights from the family or company or whatever to rebroadcast all the old Bob Ross episodes on Twitch. Back when they had Twitch Creative as a thing they were trying to do, and we were part of that. And it was fun. We got raided by Bob Ross on a couple of occasions. Thousands of people who I think were all getting stoned in their living rooms, listening to Happy Little Accidents. And then they'd show up in our stream and be like, what is going on? What are these people doing?
Painting little men.
One of them was when I was painting the Kingdom Death
even worse.
pinup models. So they went from Bob Ross painting environmental scenes to me painting half-naked barbarians. I think it was a little jarring for some people in that crowd.
Incredible, Jason.
I wonder if there's any, I never ask if anybody has, like, if any of our followers found us from any of those streams and are still here. That would be incredible if that was the case. I found you in one of the Bob Ross raids. There's a Bob Ross of mini painting. It's Goobertown Hobbies. I would say that's incorrect. I love Brent, but he's not Bob Ross. Brent is his own embodiment of calm, right? I think that's the parallel you could draw between him and Bob Ross. Is that he's, you know what Brent is? Brent is the Mr. Rogers of the mini painting world.
That definitely
that tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks, right? So we'll let him know next time we see him. Brent, you are the Mr. Rogers. I'm going to need you to wear a sweater and take your shoes off, change your shoes and your sweater every time you get to work on your channel. Yeah, Brent is the Mr. Rogers of the painting world. He is such a genuine soul, super kind, great to hang out with, right? He has that vibe. So there you go. Thank me for that later. I always call Vince the hobby accountant.
That's also pretty accurate.
Because his avatar photo was always of him in his suit for business. It was always like, he just is like the hobby accountant. Pop Chicken, anyone who's Noosh as a recess wash? How did results differ from good old-fashioned dark lining? So Noosh as a recess wash will work, but understand the differences here. We try to outline this. When you're doing panel lining, you're doing additive washes, if we want to coin a phrase, right? Additive meaning you're putting the wash in the crack and you're leaving it, right? Now, if you do it with oils, you might wipe off the surface if you're being messy, but the goal is that everything that goes in the crack stays in the crack. That's additive washing. That's what you do with Nuln Oil and our black washes and any wash you make with our glazed wash medium. That's the style. So you would use glazed wash medium, whatever color you want, and water, and you do panel lining that way. Recess washes. Noosh is for topical subtractive, right? You want to put the filter over it and then wipe it off to get the streakiness and all of that kind of stuff. So it's not built for going in panel lines. Can you do it? Yes, but you're better served using glazed wash medium. Game Delay is still disappointed that Vince is so tall. He wears shorts and combat boots.
He does.
Vince is another national treasure to the hobby world. I never get enough time hanging out with Vince. He's very straightforward and pragmatic. That's what I love. He's no nonsense. Won't BS you. What you get from Vince is the truth as he knows it. Right? 100%. And that is worth its weight in gold. He won't steer you wrong intentionally. You like the idea of Brent as the Mr. Rogers? Need to get him in here. Where is he when you need him? We need our surprise Goobertown appearance. Probably lurking in the background laughing at me right now.
Oh, painting eyes, man. Painting eyes. Holy cow. What a pain in the butt.
Louise didn't mention Vince or me in her videos of who to follow to become a better painter. What, was she only talking about UK people?
Pretty sure she talked about Mashik.
it's funny, we rarely come up in those conversations, right? Because people, it's one of the unfortunate things. People ask me like, hey, what bums you out in like the world of like content streaming and things like that? And I'm like, it's that when we became a company, people started to view us different. Not you guys, the people that are here all the time don't, but people who are new to finding monument hobbies, we're just a big company to them, and they don't get the community feel that we used to get when people found us via the stream and then learned that we made products and whatever else. So I wish there was a way to segregate that out, so that people could see the community version of Monument Hobbies, Jordan, me, and Jen, and hang out and get that feel from it first. Because, yeah, we've been doing this longer than anybody else, pretty much. Kenny has been around doing it a long time. But there are very, very few of the old guard left. So I would be lying if I didn't say there was a tinge of jealousy in that. It's like, I mean, we're real people doing real painting.
Oh yeah, those eyes work a lot better. He looks a little scared though.
Yeah, it's a little too much white.
Yeah.
Going on. I think it actually leaned heavier in that direction, but she did take a lot of suggestions, and she did caveat with there are a bajillion awesome people. I'm going to miss people for sure. Louise was talking more about social media presence, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, for inspiration on pics and stuff, sure. We're also dirt, Papa Chicken. This is correct. Yeah, like I said, we get passed by on those conversations because we're just a big company, and we're not big. that's the tongue-in-cheek part of it. It's like we're just a little company in the U.S. over here doing our thing. Doesn't bother me. The greatest thing we talk about a lot of times is that there is so much good information out there for new painters, and you can find anything you're looking for, right? What do you like to paint? What's your genre? Did you find 40K and grimdark sci-fi is your bag? Then there's a million channels you can find really good content for that. So you're never left without direction and assistance in finding your way, whether it's about playing the games and battle reports or painting the models that are your favorite models. And again, that just has tremendous amounts of value.
What's up, Gosu? Thank you for the sub, the Punisher, 49 months.
What's up, guys?
50.
Derpstick says the final look was insane on the sacrifice. Don't think you'll be able to do that with just a brush. Well, he used airbrush to blend.
Yeah.
Some of that, realize.
Yep.
We show that technique quite often where you can do your brush work and then go back after the, especially the big wide flat surfaces, and use the airbrush with really, really thin paint. The key there is getting very comfortable with an airbrush in a glazing sense, if you will, and be able to do those filters over the top. That's a secret that a lot of painters won't tell you about their work, is that they do their blending with an airbrush.
Yep. Tons of them do. I mean, I did it on this guy. I did go back over it with a brush because I wanted more texture to the skin, but I used an airbrush to do glazes over it to smooth it out.
Great, easy way to be able to be a little bit more freeform with your initial colors, and then let the airbrush do its work later on in the model. Work's a champ. Took Shannon out for her 1-year anniversary lunch today. Those of you that have been around the stream for a long time know Shannon, Gabe's mom. She is one of the more pleasant human beings I have ever met in my entire life. Always a blast. She didn't come in here as much on stream as she used to. But you all know who she is. The Fisher Queen, exactly. Apparently no longer Shelby's mom. She disowned Shelby a while back.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Shelby got excommunicated from the Fisher family.
What'd she do this time?
She wore inappropriate headwear. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Got it. I don't got it, but we're going to go with that one anyways.
Their family has very strict rules on what type of headwear you can wear around the house, and Shelby was caught breaking the rules. And you know what? I can respect that. I grew up without rules about the kind of headwear I could wear around the house, and look at me. I paint little dudes for a living.
To be fair, Shelby does work for the guy who...
So does her whole family, so I guess it's not really... She bought expensive boots. She bought a fridge with a super good personality, didn't she? That's what I should... Good God, why wasn't I thinking? That was the one that would have taken the cake right there. Yes.
That is pretty good, though.
They caught her with a fridge with a better personality. Oh my God, that's going to haunt her forever. I asked her the other day if she was having boy problems. And she says it's hard to have boy problems when you don't have any boys. So.
Hi, Christopher.
Christopher also known for wearing inappropriate headwear.
He's giving you a look right now. It's great.
Well, I'm not wrong, am I, Chris?
What? Inappropriate headwear. Oh.
I can't recall. Does not sound familiar. Does not at all sound like something I would have done. Was I drinking?
Maybe.
I was on the devil juice. James says none of this is true. Likely story from a person that's still trying to outlive the trauma of the dictatorial headwear rules in their house.
What? What? I'm so lost.
Gabe's like, I told you that in confidence. You weren't supposed to say the quiet parts out loud.
We just want to make fun of Gabe.
What's that?
We just want to make fun of Gabe. That's just the goal.
Gabe's hard to make fun of.
Mm,
Because Gabe just kind of goes with it. Gabe's fairly bulletproof,
chocolate.
in my opinion. The only way that I know to get under Gabe's skin is to tell him he did an awful job at something. Hey, Gabe, that could have been better. Watch him deflate. Aww. In the swamp, we just use an ice box. It's pretty unique to most city girls. By ice box, like a freezer? Wad says, if I ever decide to get back into the dating game, I'll make sure to both have a fridge that is slightly less interesting than me and have that listed in my profile.
Just in case you were wondering, I am, in fact, much more interesting than my...
I don't feel like that's such an inside joke, right? I don't feel like that guy suffered from also being very cool, but his fridge was more interesting. I feel like the fact that his fridge was more interesting than he was says way more about him than the fridge. And we are all glad that Shlebi made the right decision.
Oh, these eyes are making me nuts. Hate painting eyes. These ones are also like sculpted really weird. The dictatorial headwear rules? What on earth are you people saying? I'm so confused.
He doesn't understand words.
Apparently not. Go to. I'm also confused, Jordan.
We need an employee fridge photo contest. Let chat decide who is the most interesting.
hold on. Even better, we should have everybody take a photo of their fridge, post them anonymously, and then we have to pin the fridge to the employee.
Ghost Hunter, if you are telling me that you seriously have an ice box where you have to go and get a block of ice from the place in town and drag it and with hooks into your ice box, I'm going to question your sanity. That's real far off the grid, buddy. More power to you if that's the case. But holy dedication.
My solar power panels have a hard time powering an energy-intensive appliance.
This is true. They do not like inductive loads like compressors, air conditioners.
I've said for over a year that I live in a swamp. Also, it's very warm right now, considering that it's pretty cold outside. Toasty, toasty, toasty. And yes, I do know better. Blood, tomato.
Then what? Listen to anything I say?
No. To listen to anything that Wad says.
Oh, yes.
It says, poofed, poofed. You think I ever know what I'm saying? You should know better, Baby J. That's what Wad said.
It's an honest man that knows himself right there.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, you probably shouldn't listen to me unless we're at work
Yeah.
and you're being paid to listen to me.
When it comes to
Then you got to listen to me.
painting-related things, generally you should listen to what either of us say.
When if we're painting or we're in a business meeting, you got to pay attention.
Yes. Well, yes. Sometimes when we're painting, we say some pretty dumb stuff.
Wait a minute. Speak for yourself. Everything I say when painting is like 100% above board.
I have also heard some pretty dumb things in meetings, too.
Well, that's probably true.
To be honest, there are some dumb things that I have heard.
Probably true.
Tartar sauce stuff? Man, it's been a while since anybody's mentioned tartar sauce.
This man puts tartar sauce on chicken.
Mm-hmm. Although realistically, only from Ivers.
So you
now
say.
that I think about it even more.
So you say.
Indeed, I do say. Those are words coming out of my mouth. Ah. Gosu at Big Bobzilla. Just went for a walk. It feels like summertime. It's been a beautiful fall day. Well, feels like wintertime. It's 75 degrees outside.
For us, it is. Although it was a little warmer today.
It was a little warmer today.
Was not as impressed being outside during lunch. Still
did you
not
guys eat
100
outside?
something, so we got that going for us, but felt a little bit warmer.
Did you guys eat outside?
No.
Oh.
No, they asked us if we wanted to, and I was like, it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, it's close.
You don't feel like we're quite there yet to where it's like, oh yeah, it's perfect patio weather.
I will say, I did go to, not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before. I went and met a buddy to have coffee in the morning. And we went to a little coffee shop that has like bay doors that open.
Yeah.
Out to the
Like
to the
garage
street.
door stuff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they had them open in the morning, and it was so nice.
Well, in the morning, totally different. By about lunchtime, you start wondering if it's the right idea to be out on the patio.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Unless you're well shaded.
Today
It'll
was
still
also
nab you.
Today was also the first day that I woke up and felt like I normally feel during wintertime. Well, most of the time in Seattle. Which is I wake up and I go, I don't want to get up because I'm cold. Like, I want to keep the covers on because the covers are keeping me warm.
Yeah. It is that time where it's nice, like actually at night, you know, it gets to that
off.
cold level where you're like, yeah, this is cool. The covers when you roll over and you're cold again.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. You got to get a fish fry when you're in Milwaukee for Adepticon? Why do people keep saying fish fry in Milwaukee? It's like the self-proclaimed like area for cream and cheese.
Yeah, go have cream and cheese. Don't have fish fry.
Internet father figure isn't angry at nature's performance, just disappointed. Correct. Mother Nature, be careful. Derpstick says it was 72 when you went to go prime. And fish fries, don't you know? Fish, cream, and cheese. Fish, cream, and cheese?
Mmm.
Because you need some commas if it's fish, cream, and cheese. Not interested in fish cream.
I'm not sure what fish cream is, and I definitely don't want to know.
Go to Finland.
Gross. I know what that is, and I don't want any part of it.
Finland, they have fish paste. I guess it's not really fish cream, it's fish paste. Friday fish fry is super traditional around here. There's best fish fry competitions every year during Lent. Chuck? Paint Liquor says no commas, Fuse. It's fish, cream, and cheese. Ugh. Blech. Go, so you're used to it being freezing right now? It is November 1st almost. It feels like it should be cold everywhere, right? I'm with you on that. If your fish has dry skin, you rub in a little fish cream. Scale cream.
When you guys say fish cream, do you mean fish ice cream?
No.
Because that sounds horrible and nobody should do that.
Nobody should eat fish ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fish flavor like mackerel ice cream?
Yeah, it sounds gross.
Mackerel chocolate chip?
Let's not say we did. Did you say mackerel chocolate chip? Ugh.
Mackerel mint?
Ugh, gross.
I think we need to start a company. Said company does like the atrocious jelly beans, but does it in ice cream. Mackerel mint chip. That sounds great. Right? Right, chat? It's all these lines that are doing this to my brain, by the way. Ghost Hunter, I'm not even repeating that. Kind of 100% down for some sushi now, Papa Chicken. This stream somehow always ends up making me hungry. Did we say sushi? Well, yeah, earlier, right? Or was that at lunch? I think we were talking about sushi at lunch.
Today?
Yeah.
You had sushi for lunch yesterday.
Sushi for lunch on... Yeah, yesterday it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had bento box chicken.
And 2 pieces of sushi.
I had 2 pieces of salmon sushi. It was very, very good. I did not do my normal order 2 rolls for the price of 1 at any other sushi restaurant in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's so true.
That place is great for their lunch special. All right, we're closing in. To where I can paint with another color. Even just like base painting another color right now is going to be like heaven.
You'll get there, Jason.
It takes so long. Dad, are we there yet? I will turn this car around. Oh, I did make those, didn't I? Thank you for that follow. The thing doesn't want to do the whole announcement, but thank you. Welcome. Everybody's week is going great.
It is a nice week. I'm excited.
It's quick. It's already Wednesday.
I know, right?
I keep saying that. I think it's because we just have so much cool stuff going on around here.
We do.
That every week flies by. I feel like I don't have enough time to do any of the things I'm supposed to be doing. But I have forced myself to not really work much on the weekends. I had to this last weekend because we're have a big announcement coming Friday.
Yep.
And so I was prepping for that with some work that has to be done. Chris and the gang are in there doing a bunch of work on it right now. I think you guys will be fairly excited for that. Hoping you are. Neat, fun announcement. Stay tuned in our Discord and on your email, as we will do an email blast with it as well. But big, what we consider to be a big announcement coming over the weekend. And a lot of prep work going on for months with this that is nice to finally see it reach fruition.
Definitely super exciting.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to be super stoked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this stream is freaking lightning fast right now, Jason.
What time is it?
It's 3:08.
No way.
Yeah.
Impossible. Dipolar, no, but those are on the way.
Rebooted texture paints? Ooh. Heavy body paints? Ooh.
We are, both of those are on the way. But no, that's not what the big announcement is.
Monument Hobbies X something cool collabo.
Pershmaps.
Pershmaps.
We've been known to do cool stuff with cool people.
Paint liquor. It'll be wizard staff, if you know what I mean.
So, I didn't mention your comment earlier. Because I felt like I knew the innuendo you were attempting to drop.
Oh, he definitely did. That was an innuendo if I've ever heard one. Revival of the Gunpowder Rebellion. It is November 1st. What? Mechanized Imposter? What on earth are you talking about?
So I have to admit, we are in cahoots right now with a Kickstarter that launched yesterday for Trench Crusade. And this is not the weekend announcement, by the way, but I just have to give these guys a shout out because if you've not followed Trench Crusade over the years, they have a free rule set PDF for their game Trench Crusade, and it has required you to do kit bashed grimdark models for a alternate universe World War I that has like demons and really gritty. It's really awesome.
That's so funny that you mentioned this.
Right.
My buddy literally messaged me about this game like yesterday.
Yeah, so their Kickstarter went live, and of course I'm not big on Kickstarter, so I don't promote that kind of stuff much. But I did back it, which I don't do, but I did, and we've been in contact with them. So we're hoping to get some cool print miniatures that we can paint on stream here pretty soon.
What kind of miniatures are we talking about? I haven't looked at this.
They're awesome. There's 6 factions.
Describe.
5 or 6 factions. There's like, they're all just right up my alley. They're all just really, I hate the term grimdark. I don't like it. I don't know
Gritty.
why. I don't know why, but they are just very gritty, dirty, like banged up. You can imagine like gas mask trenchers for one of the factions. Another one is the standard like church, you know, but is not the good guys, kind of a church thing with inquisitors and big, huge, stompy monsters and stuff. Very protectorate of Minoth if it was very grimdark. Right? It's a really cool faction.
Okay.
There's like a demonic, monstrous faction that's all overgrown, kind of that pseudo-nurgly. It's like pustules and stuff growing out. And they have this amazing model that I think is on like a 40 mil base of this big, hulking, heavy unit that has a spider on its back, and the spider's fangs are in its neck controlling it. Like the spider like controls it through mind control, and so the spider's all hunched up on its back with its fangs dug in his neck. His head's all cocked off, and he's got a huge gun. It's amazing.
What's the scale on the game?
They're like 32 mil.
Well, that's good size.
It's a good playing size, yeah. Well, they're maybe like 25 mil because the small units come on 25 mil bases. So.
Oh, that's pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wad says I'm not backing because they're super fine on their funding, but I'm going to look at getting one of the factions at launch. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you have 3D printer, you'll get the stuff super quick. And they're 3D printing everything that you buy in physical form, so you'll also get it fairly quick. All the sculpts are done. Like I was talking with them, and they're able to send us like the sculpts we want like now.
That's sweet.
Yeah, the longest thing will take, it was over 800K as of this afternoon. They're killing it.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely killing it. And, there's the standard like gripes. People are saying they're charging too much, but I think it's fairly fair, given that they've put so much work into it. They've got some stretch goals where they've got like Graham McNeil is writing a story. They've got some Andy Chambers is writing a custom unit, like the first heroic unit for the game. Andy Chambers is making the backstory for it and stuff. So some really cool, fun things that they got going on. So they're in league with some fun people that have been watching their stuff because they have a really neat rule set. The game is pretty cool. But I had always been like, if they ever had miniatures that went along with some of their pictures and it wasn't just a miniatures agnostic kit bash game, I'd be really interested. And so here they've done it. So
yeah, they're like, here you go, Jason.
I'm like, okay, nailed it. The minis are really good. They're heroic scale, so they're not overly tuned. They're going to be nice for printing, nice for painting. It's like a World War I 40K is the best way to say it.
Well, that's very cool. I'm assuming that like trenches are a big part of the gameplay.
Yeah, all the terrain is like meant to be like a trench setting, for sure. They have 3D printed terrain that comes in the big packages or that you can add to your backer kit, and it's all got trench walls and floors and stuff like that. So you would do like a board where you cut trenches into it and then fill these things in the trenches.
That is pretty cool.
Go check it out. It might not be up your alley and all that. Not telling you to go spend money on it, but go check it out. The PDF rules, you can go on the Trench Crusade. You can be playing it with your own models today. They were kind of like the one-page rules, right? You can go get the free PDF. They're going to have a big, nice book out of the Kickstarter that you can get that has cool artwork and all that if you're into it. But you can just go to the Facebook page and get the rules and start playing. See what it's like. So unlike every other thing you find out there in the world that's asking you to sink a bunch of money into a Kickstarter, this one you can go and be like, I think this is pretty bitchin'. Play it and decide if you want to back it. And some of their team is from like Costa Mesa, California, so. I'm stoked. I got hyped when I saw the announcement. Immediately went and looked at it. Checked out all the sculpts. Some of the big ones are just too good to pass up. They're just amazing sculpts. Fun. And because of the setting, it's meant to be like, oh geez. Like, it's like Noosh Dream.
Yeah, like you're going to be using a lot of Noosh.
Oh, yeah. You'll just buy 10 bottles of Noosh and Black Brown. You're set. Chuck, you've started your first army? For what? They should put Noosh as an add-on to the Kickstarter, right? Yeah, it is the game built for Noosh. 100% the game built for Noosh. I mean, it's all muddy, grimy, trench warfare. Vector, I'm with you on that one. If I didn't have ideas set for these miniatures already that don't even have to include Trench Crusade, I probably wouldn't have gone so hardcore into it. It's like when I backed Hate, right? Adrian Smith's art for Hate that Cool Minion or Not did, I didn't care about the game, which was good because the game was horrible. But the 120 miniatures you got with the game are incredible, and they're all Adrian Smith, the kind of art that he did in like the Warhammer Fantasy Battle Chaos book that he did a lot of art for. Adrian Smith's art's just way over the top. He's what you know a lot of for the grim, dark art, outside of the Blanchitsu nonsense. Adrian Smith's art is that dreary, skulls and grime and blood dripping off of stuff. And when they did Hate, and I knew it was all his art, I backed it immediately. I was mad because it took forever to get it. But when I got it, I already had an idea for what I was doing with the miniatures other than I wanted to paint all the big ones. I didn't care about all the 25 mil guys. But I had an idea for the miniatures outside of that. Now, unfortunately, the game that was coming from Warlord Games called Warlords of Erewhon, which was a miniatures agnostic version of fantasy bolt action, didn't gain any traction. And that's what I had bought them for. So I was a little bummed that, we didn't get to see that through. But my head was in the right place, I think. Yeah, if you want all the STLs for everything, I think it's like $400. The all-in package for all the physical prints is like $800, so it's like double. It's a lot of models.
Vector, I have decided not to buy any game before I have a group.
Yeah, that's what I was responding to.
Good
and I
call.
think that makes sense. Especially if you're in an area that is very bent towards one gaming system, like a lot of areas are all 40K or all AOS. And if you try to play anything else, you kind of are it's crickets chirping at night, right? So I'm 100% with you. You got to be careful, right? Because you can get excited about a thing and then never have anybody to play with it. And that's a pretty rough feeling. I've been there lots of times. We talk about it a lot, right? The responsibility of building a community can be neat if you're of that mindset. If you're not, then it can be the worst thing in the world, right? Because you needing to, paint 2 armies, show up at the store, see if somebody wants to grab a game, or take a friend and you two play with the armies you painted up and have fun, and then everybody else gets interested. I love that in principle. I hate being the one that has to do it. Just being honest.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work because then you got to be like, okay, we're going to play up here every Wednesday. Who's in?
Well, and you got to keep on bugging people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, come on down for Wednesday night. Make sure until you have it established, and then it kind of runs itself for the most part.
Yeah. It can be tough. It can be tough. I think that's enough outlining for now, and then I'll figure out what I've missed as I go put other colors all over the place, but it gives me a pretty decent setup for this, although I think I started highlighting that hip area from the back, so I probably ought to put something here.
There we go. Finally, the eyes feel good. That took like an hour and a half, but we got there. Turns out, eyes are hard. These ones are really difficult because there's like a really heavily arched eyelid that's sculpted onto the model. And if you cut the eyes to be too narrow, you can see the space between where the eyelid is and where you've cut the eye to. You really have to have that arch in the eye. So I had to move the whole eye up a little bit more so that I could sit it into that curvature of the eyelid and just cut the bottom off where it made sense to have it be more comfortable. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close.
You used to be more into building communities when you were younger. Definitely, right? Got more energy, more time. Most of the case, for me, it's the more time thing. I just don't have time. I don't have the priority setting to make that what I spend my time on, is the way to put that, right? We all have whatever time we want for the things we prioritize. But that is not community building for me at this point in my life. I'm lazy. I want you guys to do it. I'll just show up and play the game or hang out. I'm finding where this sculpt is not as clean. All these inner hip joint areas. They got some, if you're talking Big Bob about the Trench Crusade stuff, they got some really good sculptors involved. So they've spared no expense on the design and all that. Great artists. They've got some stuff from Paul Bonner, and they went all out. The last time you built a community was playing Black and White 2? Is that a video game?
Pokemon?
Oh, is that Pokemon?
Pokemon Black and White 2?
Das Fizzle, Infinity, all the books, a solid group of war bands. Everyone liked the minis but never wanted to play. Oh, really? See, when I moved to Arizona, Infinity was the game, right? So whenever I would go to a game store, that was the game everybody was playing, because it had Tom and Kip, who ran MayaCast, the big, back in the early 2010s, was the podcast that talked about Infinity, the game. And so you would find them at the stores locally playing the game. It was big in this area.
I didn't realize MayaCast was around here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Tom and Kip ran that, and Tom's over in like Chandler. Mesa Chandler area. So yeah, so that was always a thing is you had, and it was easy to fall into. I didn't know about Infinity really until I came down here. But
you definitely sounds like you had a good community to get you roped in.
Yeah, started playing it, enjoyed it, good people playing it, so that was easy. Anytime you've got people that you would like to, go out to lunch with that are playing the game, makes the game more appealing for sure. And that crowd was pretty fun. I made some good relationships in that. Tom still lives in town. He works for Warsenal still, so he's big in the Corvus Belli world. I don't know. I think he and a lot of those guys have switched over to playing more of the AMG games. I think they play Marvel Crisis Protocol, Star Wars Shatterpoint, and stuff more now than Infinity.
I feel like a lot of those people got scooped up by AMG, like a lot of the Infinity people did. Because now that you mention it, I know a lot of my friends who used to play Infinity are now playing Shatterpoint and MCP and all that stuff. It's interesting.
I feel like it touches the same nerve if you're looking for games that are more press the button, less killy. And that's what Infinity was really trying to do, was take the 40K crowd that was sick of just the meta list that killed everything on the table, and give a game that could, be more focused on tactics and things of that nature. And it did that very well. You could win games without killing a single model. You could still get away with winning sometimes if you killed all the models. So it had a lot to offer. I played all the way through to N3, and then I kind of gave up. I got frustrated with the rules.
What was the thing? What was the big rule thing that you...
I got sick of the fact that you could literally
Crits?
Lose models on purpose to get to what happened to me at a tournament, and this was the turning point for me, was in chat, sorry, most of you already know this and have heard it a million times. At a tournament, I played at all the big tournaments, and, you know, I wasn't great, but I would do okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, you know, won second place in a bunch of tournaments, and was fielding an army that I built, which most of my lists were not real killy, trying to be strategic, trying to play well. But then I built a list that was whatever the big bads were. I forget what they were called now.
Combined army?
Huh?
Combined army?
Yeah, combined army. So I built a combined army list that had all the big bads in it, right? I put all the big bad models in there. Big shooty list, you know, was really meant to just kill everything. Because it felt very thematic for combined army. And I went to a tournament, and some guys from maybe Utah, I feel like, had come down, and they saw one of their guys had to play my list, and I was, by the end of like turn 1, had killed like half his guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My list was severely punishing, and I knew it, and I built it for that tournament to play that way, and I was happy with it. And he utilized a loophole in the rules that allowed you to... the way it was written is that the game would end the turn after an army had been considered to be put into retreat.
Yep.
And to put an army into retreat, you had to kill 75% of his models.
Yep.
So turn 2, I was heavily ahead.
Yep.
Put him into retreat by killing 75% of his models. We said, okay, he goes, well, I'm in retreat. Well, technically, the way they judged it was that the turn after the models had been put into retreat was his turn. Because he was put into retreat, technically,
On
rules
your
as written, on my turn. Because that's when you count how many models I killed. 75%. So at the beginning of his turn, that turn played, and then the game ended. So it gave him the ability to
Hop
do
on
as many
points.
of his things as possible, and then me not have any return play.
Yeah.
He went first, I went second. He went third, I went fourth. Killed enough models to go into retreat, and the judges ruled that, okay, well, yeah, then it ends at the end of his next turn. And I said, well, I have to have a chance to do my stuff. I have to at least be able to play as many rounds in the game as he did, right? And they're like, no, the rules is written, he wins. And so what did everybody do to me? Everybody threw their models up into vulnerable positions to block me.
Mm-hmm.
I was left with no choice but to kill them, or they were going to kill me.
Right.
So I would kill all their models, they would go into retreat, and I lost all but one of my games. Because they all used the same tactic once that first guy did. And I had so much
That's
fun,
obnoxious.
so much not fun at that tournament that I quit playing the whole game.
Yeah.
I was like, that is not in the spirit of gameplay. But that, you know, to their credit or discredit, that whole group was really built on playing games that they didn't want Timmies. And I was being a Timmy. I wanted to kill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted big stompy baddies, and I wanted big guns. I wanted to roll good dice, and I wanted models to die. Because that's what wargaming was to me at the time. I was like, this is what I want to do with this list. Why can't I?
Yep.
It's legal. It's not even side case legal. I wasn't using like rules from some obscure rule set. I was picking all the big bads.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm going to pick all the most powerful models in my faction.
Yep.
Which is totally fine.
And play them. And it was just like, everybody was like, dude, get over it. I was like, that's just not sportsmanlike to me. That should have been unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, I mean, there should always be parity on turns in the game.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Always.
It was bad.
It was N3. N4, I've heard is much better. Don't know, I haven't played it.
I stopped playing.
Yeah.
Sold all my armies. Stopped playing.
Rex for the win. Yes, you can kill models in Shatterpoint. It's hard to do.
They keep coming back, right?
So the way that it works is
Do they have an amount of resurrection times, or
So they don't necessarily get resurrected.
reserves?
They take wounds.
Okay.
So in Shatterpoint, you have X number of wounds, say 2 or 3 wounds. You have health. So you fill up your health, and then you take a wound after you get X amount of damage. So say you have 10 health, you take 10 damage, you take a wound,
Okay.
and then you kind of shut off for a turn.
Okay.
And then the next time your turn activates, you remove a counter, like a token off of yourself, and then you remove all the damage, and you put a wound token on yourself. And then wound tokens do certain things or whatever.
Change your stat line, or
They don't change your stat line, but they make you worse on objectives.
okay.
I think, if I recall. You lose priority if you're wounded. Is the best way I can describe it. And then once you have taken damage enough to wound you X amount of times equal to your wound allotment, then you're removed from the table.
Okay, gotcha. So it's hard.
It's hard.
You got to kill a model a lot of times.
Correct. You really now most models have like 2 wounds, so it's not impossible.
But it's not the way the game is meant to be played. The game is meant to be like MCP: grab objectives, do the objective play, and this allows your models to at least stay in it to help you in that manner. But they're going to be weaker at the objectives as they get wounded.
Interestingly enough, MCP is actually not that way. MCP is the opposite. MCP is all about knocking out your opponent's models to gain.
Well, only for the
info.
strategic advantage. I have won MCP games a lot without killing anything.
Yes, you have to build a list that's specifically designed to do that.
Because you're supposed to be playing objective stuff. The objective is not to knock the opponent team out necessarily. A lot of it is the amount of objective points you get.
But there is a lot of the ways that you interact with models in so far as like pushing them and moving them away is by attacking them.
Oh, yeah.
And also by dazing an opponent's character when you're playing MCP. It is a huge negative for them.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. I played a ton of it.
Right, so
I played a ton of it. So I played a lot of tournaments. Really enjoyed that game.
No,
but it became really one-dimensional for me because I didn't like anything except what I was playing, which was Black Order.
Black Order is cool.
Well, it was really good at the time, too. So
I think it is
back when Thanos could have a lot of gems, it was really good. I was like winning against... I was 3-model army.
It was the best list in the game.
And like whooping everybody's butt. But it was, chat had a lot of fun with me because I picked, live on chat one day, I picked what I wanted to paint for MCP. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, he picked like the ultimate cheese army.
Yeah.
And it played really well. But it was very one-dimensional. Not one-dimensional in the way the army played, but very one-dimensional in the case that I didn't really want to start playing Spider Friends or anything like that. I was having fun playing with the models that I liked. But then every game felt very samey. Because with your models, it felt like any game. That's the case with any game. It's going to feel like you do the same thing with those models every game.
Yeah.
Terrain made it a little bit different. The objectives made it a little bit different.
They have improved the objectives a lot in that game.
Yeah. No, it's grown a lot. Great stuff. AMG has done a great job of keeping their games very active, feeling fresh. One of the best rules houses out there that also care about the hobby, which is amazing because there's usually one or the other.
Yeah, it's rare that you get both.
So Will and Dallas and the team do a great job of making good rules that are fun to play and to feel dynamic, but also being a hobby company, first and foremost. Using dark warm gray to do my base coat for all of my metals and see how that goes. I usually start with a blue, but I'm going to start with a dark warm gray this time. MCP wore you out with their release schedule. Too many? Yeah.
It's too much too quick.
It's a lot all at once. Well, they were trying to build up a rep. You got to think about it. If you're going to come out with a game that can compete in this day and age, I feel like you kind of need it to be something that builds up its core availability quickly because you're fighting against things like 40K and AOS that have tremendous product lines. There's so much variation and so many things that people can get excited about in those lines that if you come out with a game that has 4 models, and a cool rule set, but not enough to get me excited, then that's tough, So I get that, but I understand it can be a little much.
You have to keep the interest going, right? Like that's the big thing. The longer and more consecutively you can keep people interested in the game, the more people are going to continue to play it and love it and buy it.
Game delay, that's what I said, is that you should have had another turn to do all of my stuff with his army in retreat. You know? If they are in retreat, they shouldn't be allowed to score points after. Also a good point, you know? You still need to go through most of your Mercenaries Kickstarter? Welcome to it. That's where this model came from. Skirmish games, I think, are the... I mean, I get the big army games. There's an intensity to putting that many models out and playing that game and being involved at that level. I like skirmish games because I don't want to have to paint that much. And I feel like for me personally, I can spend more time on the models, feel better about the way the army looks, which is what I'm here for, when I only have to paint like 10 models, right? And so I'm going to be happier with my army on the table. I'm going to be more excited to take it somewhere and play it, as opposed to just kind of, you know, putting a quick table-ready paint job on a 40K army because I get tired of painting the same Marine over and over and over again. But that's me. I talk to a lot of people that are like, they spend a tremendous amount of time making their 40K army look great, you know, and that's what they love. But I think at the end of the day, the feeling is the same. We want our armies to be something we're proud of if we're into painting, you know. And what does that mean for you? What kind of game is going to allow you the time and effort to get to a level where you feel like, I'm proud of this army. I really want to go show my friends, you know, look at what I painted. And so that's where we spend our time. So skirmish games for me, 100%.
Way to go.
And even then, I'm horrible at finishing them, so.
No judgments here.
So basically, I'm a liar, is what I'm saying. I really just like, is there a game out there I can play with just one model? That's my game.
I mean, the best super low model count game you know about, I know about, we all know about it. Battletech is one of them, right?
Arena Rex.
Arena Rex is another one off the top of my head. I mean, MCP and Shatterpoint's a little bit more, but MCP is super low model count.
Is Shatterpoint more models?
Yeah, because you take 2 squads.
Oh, one of them has a lot of models on the thing. Two stands, or
well, usually it's 6 to 8 models minimum.
Okay.
Whereas Shatterpoint, you can have a list that's, like you said, 3 models.
MCP. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I meant to say.
Yeah, you need to paint up more because you don't know what the threat level of the scenario is.
Yeah, if you build a full roster, it's 10 models because that's how big your roster is.
Yeah.
Or I think I wonder if so the way that it used to work is the gems used to take up a slot on your
Correct.
roster.
They were roster slots.
So you could have closer to like 6 to 7 models in your roster and just have like a couple of gems that you would use on various characters.
Correct.
Because you put power on Corvus and then you put the time and reality on or the space and
reality, I think.
Or no, was it? No, I think the reality is the red one, right? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like time and space or something like that, or space and
maybe it was time and space.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
It's the teleport ones. It gave you 2 different types of teleports.
2 different types of teleports. That's what you did.
Yep. One
that was a long and one was a short. One you could do to everybody and one you could only do to your stuff.
I do have Apocalypse. I picked up Apocalypse the other day. I'm really excited to paint him up. I always really loved the concept of like the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, and like Apocalypse as a character, and they have a really really like interesting design for how they made that rule set work. So I'm really excited to throw down with that that roster.
Yeah.
I'm missing a couple models from it that I need to acquire, but it's not so bad.
Does he just have a roster of people he can use as his horsemen?
Yeah, so every horseman slot, right? There's the 4 slots. There's
Mm-hmm.
pestilence, death, war, and famine. And each of those have a list of characters that can be taken as that specific horseman.
Right. Yeah.
And then from that list, you create a roster, and then from that roster, you'll create your list.
Sure.
Now, you don't have to take all of the different horsemen. You can just take like 2 of them, and then you can fill in with other stuff if you want. Because they all basically each horseman gets like a special ability that like a superpower that gets added to their card, by the horseman card that is attached to them. And Apocalypse, a lot of his superpowers are contingent on like conditions being on your opponent. So if you have like X condition, Y condition, and Z condition on some model, you got to do something to it or whatever. So his whole list and his whole kind of game plan is about putting conditions on things.
Gotcha.
But he's got some pretty cool models that you can take as horsemen, which is really neat. I'm really excited because Mr. Sinister is one of the ones that you can take, which is really neat. And I painted one up a while ago, just because I thought the model was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this model sucks, but it's cool, so I'm going to paint it up. What the heck? So I have a really nicely painted Mr. Sinister that I'd love to use at some point. So I have a good excuse to use him now, which is great. And then there's, the typical suspects. You have, Archangel and Magneto. Or I don't think you have Magneto.
Colossus.
Colossus, Wolverine, Sabretooth, Iceman.
Phoenix too, right?
Phoenix. They haven't released a Phoenix.
Oops.
Well, maybe if and when they do, it would be included.
Perhaps one day there will be a really cool Phoenix model that I've seen.
Oops. But aside from that, yeah, it's a pretty good roster of characters. Maybe 10 to 15 different individual characters. So you feel like you have a lot of options, which is great. Meth Jesus would look good in a bathrobe. What the heck, you guys?
Yeah, I think that the gems are now affixed to the character, and the character can only take one. That's what nerfed Thanos. Still good, but
yeah, I mean, nothing that I have heard has given me the indication that he seems bad now. He seems still very good. Turns out Corvus Glaive with the reality gem is just really good at killing things.
well, he and the whole husband-wife thing was just brutal. If you could get it right.
Oh, him and Proxima, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Proxima Midnight.
he's very good. Okay, so that I made too big. I need to smallen it up a little bit.
Paint a Moonstone squad. Moonstone models are fun. I haven't painted any, but I've seen a lot of people painting them, and they're really fun models.
Aren't those the kind of like fairy?
Yeah, it's like fey creatures and whimsical.
I haven't heard anything about the game, but the models I have heard are pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to a single thing about the game. It's like Rumble Slam. So many of these games come out, and they get their little cult followings, and I'm like, these models are kind of fun. And I might paint a model or two, but I never really look at the game. That's my biggest problem. Like, I don't give them the time they would deserve. Most times I'm not looking for another game to play.
We got 13 minutes, Jason.
What?
Yep. Crazy.
It's back to work. Then I have a meeting with Christopher.
With our Christopher?
Yep.
Ooh.
He booked a meeting at 4 to 4:30.
Christopher's
dedicated, man. He's trying to get the job done. He knows he can't get me. He has to take it when he can fit it in. The only time on my schedule today was when the
After
shop is
hours.
closed.
Yeah, that's true. Your schedule was very busy today.
Unfortunately, that's what working with Jason is like. It's like if you want to get a meeting in and you need it today, it's going to have to be after hours.
I even snuck in during your don't talk to me time.
I'm going to start shooting things at you.
I was already disturbing you. So I figured, what's a polite 30-second
Which
question?
already like breaks the whole rule of the do not disturb. Why is it even on the thing? I have a section of my calendar on a daily basis, even on Saturdays and Sundays, that is from 1 to 2 p.m. is do not disturb. And I am disturbed every day, 1 to 2 p.m.
I
every
feel
day.
like some days you get
Every
pretty close.
day.
No, every day. Hmm.
One of you fools comes in and says the same thing. Well, since I'm already disturbing your do not disturb time, can I disturb you some more? I'm like, well, that is the whole thing. Cretins.
Oh,
It's my life, chat. See what I have to put up with, chat?
on the bright side, when I do say that it takes like 30 seconds, it is a 30-second thing. It's like hey, I just need to have you look at this really quick.
We're going to talk about the fall of Gondolin in that meeting. T. Schmidt says, I'll run a Moonstone game at Adepticon if you like. I'm always the guy that would say yes, but I'm not really. I doubt it'll ever happen. I mean, I don't doubt that you would run it. I doubt that I would be there. I did make Zambi's thing work when we did the Warcry. I was good about that, right? So I did. I went and played with Zambies and we did Warcry, and that was fun. I don't trust myself to follow through on those things most of the time.
Kyle Kinghorn says, "Not me." ...
He never comes and bothers me in my do not disturb time. Except once.
Hey, Kyle's lying. He's a liar. This guy.
Chronic Toast.
Speaking the untruths.
Just making a stipulation that if they must eat banana Laffy Taffy if they disturb you during that time. I mean, we're not far off from that.
First off, what's wrong with banana Laffy Taffy?
Oh, please.
I mean, it's not the best.
Tell me you're kidding me.
It's not great.
Tell me you're kidding.
Not the best.
Tell me you don't like fake banana flavored stuff.
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Unless it's the whatchamacallit. Sometimes, very rarely, is okay.
Sometimes meaning never. So it's funny. I was like, they asked me what one of our things in our leadership meetings is, what's a high point in your personal goings on in the past week. And so I was like, I was smoking fools at Magic Arena last night. So I said, I was smoking fools. Built a new deck.
Oh, what'd you build?
What is blue-white called? Azorius?
Azorius, yeah.
Azorius. I built a Azorius
Reanimator?
Reanimator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That deck's pretty
With
good.
Oculus.
Yeah. That
It's
deck's
really
pretty
good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's fun to play.
Yeah.
It's one of those decks that really makes me anxious to play because it falls behind early and then goes so wide so quick that nobody can come back from it.
Yep.
So against the same red aggro deck that I've been playing, I was like, okay, I play this deck. I know what to do against this deck, so I'd bounce stuff back to hand and they'd keep putting out, little 1-2 hasters. And then I'd bounce them back to hand, all the while milling cards, milling Oculuses and Gens off into my graveyard. and then all of a sudden building up like to where I have like 6 or 7 mana, and they've now got like 3 1/2s out, and they probably got me down to like 13 health. I'm within kill range. And then I go so wide, so big, so fast.
There you go. I put 3 Oculuses.
I put 3 Oculuses out, and those 3 Oculuses turn into 2 2/2s or 3 2/2s that mill more stuff. That then I get more of these guys out, and then I duplicate them, and then I do.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
So dumb. It's so dumb. People just scoop as soon as they see your board go so wide in like one turn. It's like I can't even trample through that.
Also, the reanimate spells cost 1 mana. Which
1
is
or
just
2.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, my reanimate spells cost 1 or 2 mana.
It's like you're playing
1
Legacy
white or
Reanimator.
1 colorless and 1 white.
It's
And they're
stupid.
whites. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, it's white.
White
It's so
reanimation.
weird.
Helping hand.
Yeah.
And
To be fair, they only target things that cost like
3 or less. But it turns out there's some really good cards that cost 3 or less. Well, the nice thing about that deck is you can just hard cast Oculus for 3
Yeah.
later in the game because you don't even care about ditching those things as long as you don't have a bunch of gen out. You don't
Yep.
care.
Yep.
Just ruin your graveyard. I don't give a damn. Oculus by itself is hard to remove in this format.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of stuff, especially if you bring it back with whatever the reconstruct, because it comes out as a 6/6.
Oh.
6/6s are hard because it gets a +1 counter with reconstruct.
Yeah.
So a 6/6 that dreads at the
Yeah, there aren't a lot of 6/6 or even 5/5 like big creatures that are good that people play. Most of them are like 4/4s.
yeah. So most of the removal, black has good removal against.
Well, yeah. But you just take it, you just put it back into play because the cheap
Sea
removal-
salt, and it's the best color combo. Blue white. It's called sea salt. I never remember their stupid names for Magic. I always just use colors.
I mean,
I grew up playing Magic, and it was like I play red
Yes.
white, and they're like, "Oh, so and so and thus and such," and I'm like, "No, I play red white. I play mono red. I play mono black. I don't care about the story. Neither do you. So stop playing."
I mean, I grew up at the time where not the same time that you were playing, but maybe in the general vicinity where like I was playing Legacy America Control because Azorius didn't exist yet, so everybody just called it America Control because it was red, white, and blue.
You literally call a deck by its colors and what it does. That's how you name decks,
Yep.
right?
Just like black, green, and white used to be called junk.
Yes.
Which is like why did we get rid of such iconic names for these color pies?
Because they wanted
It's so
Golgoroth or whatever the hell,
It's stupid.
they wanted their IP to be important. Which I understand too.
Like, let me just play junk mid range again.
It's still red white. Yeah, my decks are all called like blue mid range. Green black mid range. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Which I also built a green black deck that's really good.
That is also one of the better decks in the format, if I recall. Deck's pretty good. Turns
But
out
now I'm out of
Shadow's-
all my wild cards, so I'm done building decks for a minute. I literally use like all. I still have commons and uncommons, but I use like all my rares. I still have mythics, believe it or not, because I don't play very many mythic cards.
Well, it's funny because most of the cards that you need for decks are rares, not mythics.
Right, and that's the hardest ones to get.
Yep. Although once you establish all the mana base lands, that's usually the biggest one that eats all your rares.
I guess that's true. I guess the green black I made with like 1 rare and 14 uncommons. So I'm probably at that point.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, most of those decks run 3 to 4 different copies of multicolored lands, and they're all rares. And you're like, well, there goes 12 rares. It's
That's
stupid.
expensive too. I was looking, I was like, oh, well, if I run out of them, I'll just buy some because I know you can buy them in the shop.
Yeah, and you're like, no thanks.
Holy crap, they're like $20 for 4.
It's $20 for 4 mythics. It's $10 for 4 rares.
Okay.
Yeah, which is still crappy. Like
For digital cards.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
like-
It would be one thing if it was like the old Pokemon where you got. Well, no, I guess Pokemon was the other direction. You bought the physical ones and you got them in the digital game.
yeah, which is great.
Which
by
is
the
great.
way, I think that's awesome. They should do that for Magic.
But they changed that. Now Pokemon doesn't do that anymore.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that anymore.
What?
And they also reduced the number of cards you get out of the packs in Pokemon Online, too. Yeah, I stopped playing it because of that. Yeah. then the ban list hits. So as soon as I started playing, I was looking for decks, right? Well, I say as soon as I started playing. As soon as I re-logged into Arena, I started looking at decks. I went on a site and I said, what's the meta right now? Because I don't have time to go figure it out. I was like, what are the good decks? And it was a post from like a month and a half ago. So of course it said red aggro. I had already started putting together red out of all my, because if you look at all my decks, I have like 100 decks in Arena. I have all these decks that I built, but they're all 30 or 40 cards unallowed now, so I can't use any of them. So I would open them up. Basically, anything other than the lands was not usable, except for things that have been reprinted in new sets. So I went to all my reds and pulled out all my shocks and lightning bolts and all those things, and was trying to build some goblins. They're still legal, and I was trying to build some stuff around that. And I got some hasted creatures and things, and then I started looking at the new set because I had a bunch of packs. Opened those up, started just kind of building out a junk that I had in mono red. And then went and looked, and it was like everything that I was building off of, and then like a couple of rares that I didn't have.
You just like put all the good stuff together.
But then there's these new ley line cards they've created.
Yes.
Right? And the red ley line is
reprinted
ridiculous.
They're reprints.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, all of them are reprints.
So the red ley line was ridiculous. I was like, wait a minute. If this is just in my hand, it gets to play out a 5-cost card for free at the beginning of the game, or a 4-cost, or whatever they are.
I'm pretty sure they're all 4.
So it's like a 4-cost card. All the ley lines just get to be played on. They just get to start open out on the game. And that one like dupes stuff. So it was like
it duplicates a spell that targets
a creature you control. Yeah, which is all of the control, all of the bump cards that you're playing. Huh?
They banned
they banned it immediately. Yeah. So when I went to look, and I was like, "Ooh, I want that card." So I went to go look for it, and of course it said this is banned in Standard and Alchemy. So.
Interestingly enough, though, they I don't know if they adjusted it and banned it for like multi best of 3.
Masamune says, imagine playing Magic the Gathering in 2024. I know, right? It keeps pulling me back in. I'm like the Godfather, part 3. Like, they just keep pulling me back in. Magic's just, it's been my favorite game forever. It's just the most frustrating game because I never have time in my adult life to spend watching the meta. And so what I told myself is I'm going to get on Arena and I'm just going to play. And if every now and then I have to spend $20 to get all of the cards I need for a cool deck to play in Standard on Arena, then every quarter I'll spend $20.
Yeah.
It's like $100 a year I'll spend on Magic in digital form so that I can sit there and play. The only thing I always forget in that statement is I get really bored playing the same deck that many times over and over and over again. Right? And I haven't done any drafting yet because I don't know the format well enough to feel like I'm comfortable going in and draft. And that's the problem.
Jason, I will tell you that this set is incredibly fun to draft, and you would have a blast.
Well, Mazza, we did a bunch of proxy commander decks around the shop here, and so everybody's got like the biggest, hardest hitting commander decks on the planet. Like if we were to have these commander decks built in real money cards, we would have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cards in our office. It's ridiculous when you obviously what you can do with proxies. But we only play them around here at the office or in our own group, and it's literally just OPBS. We just literally clobber each other, all the time, and that's a lot of fun, and I love it. And I have like 13 proxied commander decks that are all like the most abusive commander decks on the planet, and it's a lot of fun. So I like Commander, and I'd never really played it before, but I like draft. I like limited Standard draft. But I don't have the time to invest to learn the format anymore. I'm not going to go study the cards so I know what to draft. So,
Jason, I will build us a cube so that we can cube, so that you can destroy people with a format that we all know, and it will be fun, and it will be OPBS.
Yeah, well, Block isn't Block the new Standard? Isn't that what they're doing now? Because they have so many releases.
No,
Block would go too fast now.
So Block is what they used to do. Where
Block was when you had 3 releases,
correct,
each one a year plus sets. The main set.
Well, it was a core set, and then
core set lasted 4, right?
Well, the block as it was referred to was a collection of 3 sets that were released one after the other.
Right.
So think about like Khans of Tarkir.
I know.
Yeah.
But that was Block constructed. It was the same thing as Standard now. It's just that Standard happens quicker. It's Block on a faster rotating format because Standard includes the same amount of sets, but they happen so fast as opposed to 1 a year or whatever that they used to.
Block was even more limited because it was only those 3 sets plus a core set.
Right.
Yeah. Where
Standard has more now.
It's double. It's
because it's 2 years worth of cards.
Like 7 or 8 sets.
It's like 2 years worth of cards and 1 a quarter. So yeah. So it winds up being like 8 things plus the raw core set, right?
Yep.
So it's 9 things that you can play from.
Correct. 8.
Are there as many cards in each release?
Yes.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
That's a machine of a company, dude.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
think
silly.
about how much art they're making too. Isn't that insane?
That's just silly. Yeah, it was hard for me at the time because I still had a job as a professional and was working my butt off at the time where I was playing, not professional. I was making money playing, but not sponsored money.
Sure.
But when I was going to Pro Tour qualifiers and stuff up and down the East Coast, we all had jobs, like real jobs. And they were the kind of jobs that would allow us the time to go Pro Tour qualify, but they were still jobs. And so even keeping up with block limited was tough. And the thing there is that you'd get so down into it that it got so boring because there was nothing new to it. So you just were a refined machine.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go and you knew exactly what to do. It was mechanical. And you were just there for the social aspects.
Yeah.
But that would go on for a year, you know?
Well, I think the cool thing about getting good at draft is you get to a certain level where even if you don't really know the set particularly
Raiders.
well,
Raiders.
you know
Raiders?
AC Miniatures.
What?
Aaron.
Aaron, hi.
What?
Hello, sir.
What?
No,
Hello, everybody.
don't think so.
Go turn my own mic on.
How do you all do today? Welcome. You're joining us right as we're swinging out at the end of the day.
Chronic
Hello.
Toast says, I'm pulling together 40 theme decks from 6th to 15th edition. No infinite turns or locks, a cube of decks, I guess. You bring them to Valhalla. Are they even doing Valhalla anymore? I don't think they are, right?
Are they done?
I didn't hear anything about this year,
Oh.
but I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. What's going on, Aaron? Hello.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi. I'm painting a huge Timberwolf, and Jordan's painting Prometheus.
Right.
That is a Philip wandering around.
Yeah, I'm wandering around back here. I had to go turn my microphone on because Jason wouldn't let me talk.
I wouldn't let you talk?
Yeah, you turned my mic off.
I'm not even over there. See what I have to put up with, chat? Those other side of the building people. Can't
Yeah.
trust them.
Yeah, you other side of the building guy. Jeez.
What is this?
Jeez, Philip.
What is happening right now?
Mr. Other side of the building.
I don't want to.
T. Schmidt likes you.
I don't want to say what I want to say, so
He's
I'm gonna be nice and just keep it to myself.
It's okay. You're the long lost sibling from.
I don't even get a camera.
Masamune says, I just picked up my first few Pro Curl sets. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
right, Aaron. They're so mean to me.
Aaron,
I don't
don't
know why
even
I'm here.
believe it.
You won't even give me. I'm not even allowed to show up on the stream. I'm
Don't
just
even believe
a
it.
ghost voice in the back.
Don't even believe it. Look, there, chair. Phil. There.
Yeah.
There's
'cause
new
I
guy
said
Phil.
Something about it.
There's new guy Phil. I can't mute him, though. Well,
I know,
I can, but I'll
that's
mute
why I
all
got
of us
it.
at the same time.
Poor Phil.
He
Honestly,
says,
it's
honestly,
appalling.
it's appalling
It
the
is.
way we treat him.
Jen's gone. HR is out, not here, so they just do whatever they
Jeez.
want.
You know,
not fair.
she's the one that presses all the buttons that make you appear and be heard.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
the rumor
gives
has
me
it
a voice
Valhalla
at
will
this
be in the
company.
spring. Well, that doesn't sound the same.
Green.
Valhalla in the spring. It needs to be Valhalla in the fall. It has to be cold and cozy in that place. If it's warm, why in the world would we all stay inside that log cabin?
If it's early spring, it's still cold.
Seems like poor planning to me. How's everybody doing? How's the show, Aaron? What are you painting? I bet he's working on Golden Demon stuff.
No, I think he's doing a mushroom right now.
I think he's probably taking a break because he's done 2.
Oh, you went to SMC.
Yeah.
Getting rain here under a tornado watch in early November. What?
Dang.
Fall Holla. Yes, exactly, Ghost Hunter. It just has to be. What gray is that on the feet and hip? Casperion asks. It is dark warm gray.
Such a good gray.
One from our base set. Dark warm gray and bright warm gray are in the base set. Fun little whimsical guy. I love those.
I think those are Jason's favorites.
I don't like to admit it, but I think you're right, Philip.
I've never seen you more excited than when you get to paint a fun little whimsical owl or
Like this
creature
damn bear.
or bear.
Right?
That is your favorite thing.
You,
I
You
think
don't
I-
admit it, but you love the fun whimsical
As
stuff.
crabby as I
I'm
am,
serious.
it's really
How
true.
long did you spend on the
as
owl?
crabby as I am, these are like
Yeah.
my favorite minis. You know, it's
Look
like,
at that owl. How long do you think he spent on that?
A lot.
So much time.
like all
He
the
loves
time. Because I just once you start painting them, you're like, these are cool. Now, when I look at them in pictures, I'm like, whatever. And except for this guy, when I saw this guy on the poster at Gen Con, I was like, I wish they made a miniature of that. And then Gabe comes up like he struck gold.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He was
look
so
what I
excited.
found.
He's like,
And there was a miniature of it. So I was like,
"Thank
okay,
you."
all right, win. No, I like the whimsical stuff too, but generally what I'm drawn to visually is always just more realistic, things. And then you start painting fun stuff, and you're like, okay, cool.
Aaron, how are you enjoying it being an hour earlier? Wait, hour earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is an hour earlier for them. Because they already turned their clocks back. Hunty the Mushroom. What's it from? Is that one of the Zaba stuff?
Yeah.
Hunty. An hour different. Yeah.
Mazmuni, thanks. Have a good one. Back to work. Sounds horrible.
I found out work. Wait, right now?
Michael Payne says he's staying in the Great Hall to drink mead in the spring, of course. Yeah, the Lucas's stuff is great. He was just in here the other day.
Hey, he popped in yesterday. It was very cool. Dropping in to say hello.
Did he? I missed him.
Ghost Hunter. Heine!
You're too busy being first.
First?
First in chat.
Oh, yeah. I literally said it and then left.
Oh, you work from home? Well, then it's not so bad. It's not so bad. You can have us on in the background.
Yeah.
It is quitting time for us, though.
That's
Yep.
true.
Aaron came in right at the end. He dropped you all off on us right as we're quitting.
Jason has a meeting.
We stream 2 to 4 p.m. And yeah, unfortunately, I have a meeting right after stream today. But we stream 2 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Our times will be the same for us.
They're
They
different
will
for you.
change
Different for you
For
now.
many of you starting next week.
For those of you in Europe and the UK and the rest of the world that have already experienced your daylight savings time stuff, can that meeting be an email? No.
I think most can.
Well, it's with Christopher from our marketing team.
Oh, so it definitely can.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. it can.
Christopher's job is to make really cool stuff and then show it to me and then listen to me bitch about it and then go redo the really cool stuff that he did.
Yeah.
So no, it can't be emails.
Yeah.
I have to go look
Yes,
at
that
the
is-
stuff, which I think I've already looked at, which is funny because we have a big release coming this weekend.
We do.
Well, no, we don't. We have to be
Yeah.
careful how we say that.
We do have to be careful.
We don't have a big...
We are
Monument Hobbies does not have a big release this weekend. There is a big release coming out of Arizona this weekend regarding hobby goods
Yes. That's a good way to put it.
to confuse the hell out of
There's
you.
a large hobby announcement.
But a large
there'll be
hobby,
some cool stuff for you
hobby
guys to buy
industry
soon.
announcement that I think you guys are going to love. It's going to make cool stuff available for cool people in the U.S., so we're really excited about it. So keep
and
tuned
the
on that.
uncool people.
Oh, I gotta type these
Uncool people
things.
can have it too.
I'm going to type these things. You'll be able to find out more about it on our Discord. So I'll link that first. Boom. There you go. Discord.
Did it. Proud of you.
Join us on our Discord where we have nearly 5,000 amazing artists just like you guys.
Yeah.
Tons of great inspiration over there. Aaron's a member. He never drops by, though.
He literally just dropped
He
into
just
stream
rated. You gonna
with
call
like
him out?
68 people.
He's here supporting us.
Yeah, we-
See, they're mean to everybody. It's
We
not just
don't
me.
get to say that he's not hanging out with us. When he's literally hanging out with us right now.
He's like, hey, I lurk.
That's great.
And what else am I supposed to type? Oh, FLGS.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
the
Always
YouTube
Bam.
watching.
Bam.
Discord store
I did it.
FLGS.
I did the things. They're
YouTube.
there.
YouTube?
They're on the
You
box.
remembered 3
YouTube?
words.
I can see them.
YouTube.
They're right there.
YouTube? You haven't done YouTube yet.
You have not done YouTube.
They're on YouTube.
What?
Well,
but
Not
the-
all
some
of
of them
them.
are on YouTube.
Some.
Twitch people aren't on YouTube.
The Twitch people aren't on YouTube, so the Twitch people can go there.
We have 81 people on Twitch right now.
We stream live
You do.
on both YouTube and Twitch. So you can go check out the past if there's something you want to check out that we've been painting, some technique that you heard about us doing. You can go check out all the past videos over there as well as all of our shorts and tutorials. That'd be great.
Great. Fantastic.
4,947 people in the Discord watching Jason edging for the second day.
I think I should leave.
This is my life.
Hated
time
that.
to go.
Why is this my
that-
life?
Did not like that.
Everybody,
At all.
thanks so much for hanging out. If you came over with AC Miniatures Raid, thank you so much for sticking around for the brief minute. So we're still running. Hit the follow button to get notifications when we go live. Again, we do broadcast Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in the U.S., which is now -7 off of UK. Yeah.
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 Sure.
Yeah, minus
Yes.
7.
Yeah.
We're
Minus
7.
7
We were
hours.
8 hours behind you a couple of days ago. Now we're only 7 hours behind you. Nothing really changed. I don't feel any different. Do you feel any different?
I feel a little lighter.
A little lighter? Okay. Well, maybe that's odd. But okay. So stick around. We're going to find somebody to pass this raid off to. So show some love in the next chat we wind up in. Have some more great hobby wondrousness throughout your evening. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios,
Bye,
gang.
everyone.